Somebody must have been making Clayton laugh on his way out. Okay, apple on the desk. I didn't get one. All right, that's okay. I'll live. Well, it's great to be back, and I hope everybody had a good bye week. I'm not privileged to say under NCAA rules where or to who I went to see last week on my recruiting trip, but I did leave on Thursday and flew out to the Midwest. So it started off great. All right, I'm getting on the plane. I'm going back to row 16 or whatever it is, and the guy at the front there hands me a new ticket. He says, "You've been upgraded." Awesome. All right. So I move up, and now I've got a nice, comfortable seat, and thinking, all right, this 2+ hour flight is going to be really comfortable. This is going to be good. So then at one point during the journey, over the loudspeaker, the pilot says, "We're going to be encountering some moderate to severe turbulence." Okay, and then the flight attendant comes up, and she passes out a round of drinks, and she says, "I won't be seeing you for a while." So I'm like, all right, buckle up, here we go. So we made it through the turbulence. The rest of the flight was fine, and it was a good trip. Got back Saturday afternoon, sat around on the couch, watched some games. Jen put a couple steaks on the grill, and we were back at it on Sunday morning. So now, so every recruiting trip, there's always some little story that goes along with it. But the flip side is that we probably don't talk enough as coaches about the sacrifices that we make and that our families make. And believe me, I'm not complaining, because football has been very, very good to me for well over 30 years now as a player and a coach. But Thursday night, I missed my daughter's senior night volleyball game, and then Friday night they honor the seniors at the football game, and you're not there for that stuff, and it just makes you think back to all the things through the years that a regular dad is going to be at that stuff, and just because of the lifestyle that we live and the commitments that we make to what we do. You miss a lot of weddings in the fall, right? And you miss a lot of your kids' stuff, and there's conflicts all over the place, and a lot of things fall on your wife to do the job that you'd love to be doing as a husband and a father sometimes. But that being said, so proud of my kids, because they've never complained one time. It's never been, where's dad, or why isn't he here? They get it, and I think there's something to be said about growing up in a family of a coach, that there's an understanding of that big picture and the sacrifices that need to be made and becoming independent. And you look at my oldest daughter, she's working up in Boston right now, and she was like ready to go, and my son that's out at TCU, he's killing it out there. And I think a lot of the, those things that they've gone through growing up better prepare them for that. And even my youngest daughter, she's going to be just fine when she goes off to college. So, those are the things that come with the territory if you want to do what we do. And then you think about our players and all of the resources that they have and what they get exposed to every day. And we treat our guys with respect, but we coach them hard, and we're demanding. And those things should be all going into sort of their toolbox for when they come out of here, between the resources that they have in the athletic department on our staff and what they've been exposed to for 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, they should be really, really well prepared when they come out of here to be at an advantage when they get to the real world. And if they're not, that means they're not taking advantage of everything that we're providing for them. So I'll get off the soapbox. So let's focus on the task at hand here with the Gators. So whoever made the statement that the sun is set on the British Empire has not watched SEC football on a Saturday, because here we go. It's another week, and we've got another Australian punter, 4 weeks in a row now with these guys. I mean, they have completely taken over the SEC. Kai Kroger is like he's like a limited resource right now as an American punter. And this guy, Crawshaw, he's very good, very good. Now, most of these guys, and we've even seen rugby in both directions, he's rugbyed in both directions last year. This year, for some reason, he's focusing more on angle punts, and he's really, really booming the ball very, very well. So, we have to be ready for rugby because he's got that in his background, and he's certainly capable of doing that. And then, we also have to be prepared for these booming angle punts that he hits. So he's definitely a big challenge that we'll be preparing for this week. Pearsall, who, as you are well aware, is their top receiver. He is a very dependable, shifty punt returner. You can tell that they trust this guy back there. He's got good vision after he catches it. He's got the ability to make a guy miss and get vertical and find the open spaces. They've played a couple other guys back there as well. And then number 7, the running back, he's their second leading rusher. He's a very, very good kick returner. I was concerned about him last year. You watch him, he's got good vision. He gets downhill. He can break tackles. He's got those natural running back type instincts where he can find a crease and then hit the jets and break an arm tackle, those types of things. They use 2 kickers so far this year. They seem to have settled in with 29. Smack is his name. He's also their kickoff guy. He hits a lot of touchbacks. I think his long field goal is 54 yards. They've got a veteran long snapper. They've got a lot of rugged guys on their units. Number 44, who's an edge player for them. Been watching him on special teams now for 2 years. We had a lot of trouble blocking him last year on kickoff return. So we did play well in this game on special teams down there last year. But as we know, every year's different. Every week's different. There's a lot of unique challenges, and we're going to have to find a way to do our part here to contribute to getting a win this Saturday afternoon.
Pete, there's been a lot of talk from Shane, Clayton, Dowell about reevaluating over the bye week. Mm-hmm. Was there one area of special teams where you felt the need to reevaluate?
It's really, for me, it was taking a hard look at all of our depth, and is there anybody who maybe has 4 games to give or 3 games to give and that we could play and develop and get some reps to and still preserve a red shirt? Is there somebody that at this point we're saying we're full speed ahead and this guy's playing a little bit more on offense or defense, so I need to try to accelerate him to make sure that we're getting the most out of his ability to play from a special team standpoint. I certainly went back and looked at all our self-scout and what we ran and what's been good and what hasn't and why, those types of things. So it was a good week last week to get some younger guys some work and to continue to bring them along and maybe shake up some of the depth a little bit and see if you can continue to show guys that it's an ongoing competition every day and every week, and you want to try to reward performance and get guys in there that have earned it.
Pete, you mentioned going on the road recruiting this past week. You've been here since the jump. What are conversations like now in recruiting, now that you have kind of a body of work to speak to more so than when you first got here and helping spread Beamer's vision?
Yeah, we definitely have some credibility. There's no question about that. And I think people have noticed the momentum of the program. And that doesn't mean you're going to win every game, but I think there's a general vibe out there about the positivity going on here in our program and at the university in general, where when we first got here, we were definitely an unknown. I don't know that you could have come in at a more difficult time than we did under the circumstances. And yes, every year in college football, coaches get let go because teams have struggled and new staff comes in, and there's a natural burst of energy with that renewal. But you have to remember that we came in the middle of the pandemic. and you have a first-time head coach, and you have a lot of coaches that have come from different backgrounds, but maybe don't necessarily have that SEC marquee attached to them. So we've had to earn all that. And I feel like over the course of 2.5 years now, going on 3 years, there's been some good progress in that area. And even when I go to my areas, which are mostly outlying areas, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, wherever my travels take me, even people that far away are noticing what we're doing. And then, of course, the SEC itself has a great allure to it. And you're seeing kids that, grow up in Big Ten country or elsewhere, and they still have an interest in the SEC. I was talking to a 2025 prospect last week, and one of the first questions I asked was, are you in love with your hometown team, or are you a guy that's willing to travel? And the answer I got was, Coach, it's the SEC. Like that's the highest level of college football you can get, and I'm interested. So I think it's that's an important piece of it as well.
You talked about it going into the year just because of the lack of depth. There's been so many younger players playing on special teams, and that was probably going to change throughout the course of the year. Having a chance to reevaluate things last week, where are you at in terms of where the younger players have performed so far, and what would you like to see more of from that group?
Yeah, it's you want to see days get stacked like pancakes, which is that you don't expect a jump from here to there overnight, but you just want to see little basic progress, tangible evidence of progress, that they're starting to get a little bit more comfortable and have a sense of urgency too. That, look, you're in the middle of your freshman year right now. We've talked about kickoff coverage and what we do conceptually a couple hundred times at this point. Like, something should be sticking, and by osmosis we should be getting some of this, and I want to see that translate to drills on the field. I want to see that translate to, if you get a rep in a team period as a reward for your hard work, all right, applying what we've been teaching you and not just going out there and going haywire and freelancing. So, that's what I look for the most. Like, are we getting to some kind of critical mass where you are now becoming a reliable player, a trustworthy player that we can put in the game, right? Because you could sit here and say, it's just one rep covering a kickoff, and it is. I'm not trying to say it's, you're becoming the starting quarterback, but if that one rep at kickoff gets returned, and that return happens to hit a certain way, and you're not avoiding that block correctly, or you're not understanding the time and space and reacting the right way, and we give up a touchdown, right? That could lose us a game just right there in and of itself. So, that's how I coach, with that kind of sense of urgency, and you want to see your players respond to that. This is not. You came here for a reason. You came here because it's big-time college football, because it's the SEC, and you came here, I hope, because you want to play. Well, if we're giving you that opportunity, you have to embrace that responsibility and make sure that you're giving us your best in meetings, in drills, and in team reps and practice. Wow, you guys made this one easy. This might be a record short press conference for special teams. So, noted. Okay, we'll see you next week. Thanks.